Good morning, folks, and may I wish you a very happy Friday as we get up and get started this day. And prayerfully, this day is good to you, and you will just enjoy the blessings of God this Friday. And I want to remind you to come and be with us in worship on Sunday, and it's going to be a wonderful time in the Lord. And those of you that were either there or you saw the message on foolishness, part 1, I'm going to be doing part 2 this Sunday. And I didn't do that over the Sundays where we were out due to the weather and everything, because I wanted to do that in person. But I want to encourage you to come and be with us as we hear this message on Sunday. I think it's something we all need to hear. You probably remember me saying, if you saw the message, that far too many churches in our day and age don't want to preach about the subject of hell. But you know what? It's a real place, and we need to be knowledgeable of it. We need to be able to warn folks about it. And you know, the best way to warn folks about something is to be armed with the knowledge of it. So you come and be with us Sunday as we gather for worship. I want to read to you today from the book of 1 Peter, chapter number 4, and verse number 16. Peter says these words, "Yet if anyone suffers as a Christian, let him not be ashamed, but let him glorify God in this matter." And you say to yourself, wow, why is he talking about suffering? Well, because Christians, sometimes we're going to suffer. We're going to suffer ridicule sometimes. We're going to suffer the same thing that everybody else suffers. We're going to be dejected sometimes. We're going to be rejected sometimes. We're going to have, you've heard me say before, heartache, heartburn, heartbreak, all of those things. We're going to have them. Jesus reminds us in John chapter 16 and verse 33, in this world you're going to have tribulation. So let's remember that it's going to happen. It's the big misconception that people have. They get a hold of some of this prosperity preaching and all this nonsense, I'll call it, and they think that once you come to know Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior, then you're supposed to be immune from all kinds of difficulty. Well, I don't know what Bible they're reading, but they obviously have never read John chapter 16 and verse 33, where Jesus tells us, in this world you're going to suffer tribulation. And then Peter says right here, yet if anyone suffers as a Christian, let him not be ashamed. Why? Because we might suffer, but we don't suffer without hope. Let him not be ashamed, but let him glorify God in this matter. I remind you of John chapter 16 and verse 33. Once again, Jesus says, Christian, I'm paraphrasing it, of course, Christian, in this world you're going to suffer. But he didn't finish there. Thank God for that. He said, but be of good cheer, because I have overcome the world. Christian, y'all have heard me say this many, many times. You know Jesus Christ is Lord and Savior. You have overcome the world along with Jesus. Yes, you may have to suffer something, but you don't suffer it as somebody who has no hope. The lost of the world, they suffer all kinds of tribulation, and they don't have hope. And that's not to say they can't get that hope. They can, by coming to know Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior. But Christian, you and I, we may suffer, but we don't suffer as people who have no hope. We suffer as people who have hope. Peter tells us right here, yet if anyone suffers as a Christian. Notice that word there, anyone. Any Christian. Let him not be ashamed, but let him glorify God in this manner. So what should our attitude be, Christian? As hard as it is, because we're human beings. God, I glorify you in the storm. You've heard what I've said many, many times. Lord, I don't know what lesson you're trying to teach me here, but I pray that you teach me. So glorify God in the storm, just like you glorify God when the sun's shining and everything's wonderful. If you suffer as a Christian, don't worry about it, because God's got you. And I hope and pray that this gives you encouragement as you begin this weekend. And I want to remind you once again, be in a service of worship on Sunday. come and be with us at Oak Level. Or if you go to a good Bible-believing, Bible-preaching church, you be faithful to that. But the bottom line is, be in a service of worship on Sunday. Love you folks, and I'll talk to you a little bit later. God bless you.